All right, it took me like 4 years to get this shot set up, and I still feel like this. So that's how today's going so far. Hey guys, good morning or afternoon or evening whenever you're watching this. Typically, I tend to either wear no makeup or literally all of it. And I usually don't go in between, but I do really love a good, natural, no makeup kind of look. And I have some errands to run today, and I think my husband and I are gonna get to have some alone time without the baby. So I think I'm gonna do just kind of an everyday simple look for today. It would mean so much to Samo and I if you just went ahead and booped that subscribe button. So let's go ahead and just jump right in and get started. It was this moment where I totally forgot how to speak or do anything. So typically I start with my brows. For brow pencils, I use the e.l.f. brow pencil in taupe. It's like $2 and honestly a really good brow pencil for the product. And then I do also use a MAC brow pencil in the shade Spiked. And I'm just gonna go ahead and line the bottom and the top of my brows. I honestly am very thankful for the brows that I do have. They're very easy to work with and they're pretty full, but I do still really want to get microblading done since they are kind of sparse in some areas. So then I'm gonna go ahead and take that MAC brow pencil and I'm just gonna kind of create really small hair-like strokes all the way through my brow. And this color is a tad darker than I normally would ever go with a brow pencil, but I've honestly been really liking it lately to create a little bit of dimension in my brow. And then after that, I take this Revlon Color Stay Brow Tint, and it just has like a super, that's gross, there's hair on it. A super small fine tip wand, I guess you could call it. It's more of a brush. And I just kind of do the same thing and create like really little hair-like strokes. So then after that, I take just a regular good spoolie brush and I just kind of brush out some of those harsh lines we created. And I typically don't care if it gets kind of messy because I will clean up. Could you imagine if I just left my brows like that? I don't think that would bode very well. So I'm just gonna take a Q-tip and clean up my brows. Not the best, but we'll live. So then I'm gonna go ahead and take my primer. I've been really loving this Cover FX blurring primer. I don't really have big pores. I mean, honestly, they're kind of invisible. Like I've just never had huge pores. But something about this primer, I just really love it. Go ahead and just press that into the skin. I do have like one solid forehead dent, so I like to mess it up there, and then my chin. We're just gonna go ahead and take these NYX Total Control drops. I'm using the shade Natural, which is shade 7, and Soft Beige, which is 7.5. I'm honestly not these colors anymore, and I've really never been good at picking a foundation shade anyways, but that's what we got. I'm gonna use this Morphe Y6 brush. It's just a nice flat kind of a kabuki brush. I honestly only bought this brush because Laura Lee was obsessed with this brush, and she still is, but this series got discontinued, so now I believe it's called the M6, and it's honestly a great brush. It really is, but I never would have bought it except for her, so shout out to you, Laura Lee. And I'm just gonna mix both of these. I personally like to apply it straight to my face just because I feel like the brush can really absorb this product in particular. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and add these e.l.f. clarifying drops just to kind of thin it out, because today I don't necessarily want like full coverage. I just kind of want to even out a lot of the redness that I have. We're just gonna blend forever. Oh well. So after I blend my foundation out, my nose always gets so itchy when I film. Whenever I blend my foundation out with that brush, I typically like to take a beauty sponge. This one I think is from e.l.f. I'm sure it was super cheap. And just take a damp one and then sort of just buff it out to kind of create a smooth airbrush finish. And make sure we don't have any of those brush lines. Next, we're gonna go ahead with concealer. I use the Tarte Shape Tape, and I use the shade in Fair Beige, which may or may not be a good shade for me. I have never, ever been good at picking out colors for myself. I'm just gonna use this stuff is so thick and so full coverage, so I tend to just use a tiny bit underneath my eyes. Otherwise, I will be blending it down to my knees. Frick.
One eternity later.
Next, before we get into powder products, I do want to go ahead and take the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drops. Probably can't even see that. And this shade is Blossom, which is just a really pretty rose gold. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight with this before I put powder products on. And this stuff is absolutely blinding. I'm gonna take this Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder and go ahead and set my eyes. I like to use a Morphe Y11. And this Gilded series is discontinued, but I'm pretty sure they still make this brush. It just might be called something different. Now, it's super hot here today, for me at least. It's in the upper 90s, and I am gonna be outside part of the day today, so I am gonna go ahead and bake my under eye as well as my chin, which are usually my problem areas. And I'm gonna take that same powder on that same damp sponge and just really pack it in there. baking, I'm gonna go ahead and skip to contouring and bronzer. I typically use a mix of this Pure Sculptor palette and this Maybelline Master Bronze palette. I do also like to contour my jaw. Does it do anything? Probably not, at least for me. But, you know, having a baby makes you gain a little weight sometimes, and we do what we can. Next, I'm gonna take this Luxie brush. It's 141. It's just kidding, it's 111. And it's a mini flat angled brush. And we're gonna go ahead and contour the nose. I'm gonna use this matte shade in the Master Bronze palette and just lightly shape my nose. I'm gonna go ahead and take that same Morphe R14 brush and just kind of blend that out. Alright, next we're gonna go ahead and bronze up the face. I like to mix these two colors. This one has a little bit of shimmer in it, so I just feel like it complements that matte and really gives me the glow I'm looking for. Turn that 5 head into a 4 head. For blush, today I think I want to do something quite glowy. Typically I stick with a matte blush, but today I'm going to go ahead and use the Laura Geller, and this is the Baked and Brightened blush in Tropic Hues. This one does have kind of a nice shimmer to it. I'm going to go ahead and use an E4 brush by Morphe. And I'm pretty sure this one is specifically a blush brush. And I already have pretty pink cheeks, so I usually don't need a lot. Just kind of dust it on. I am gonna also take this Note Cosmetics blush in Desert Rose and apply that as well. This one is matte, but I just really love the color. Let's jump into highlight. So I'm just gonna take this Sun Dipped Glow Kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills, as well as this Morphe R36 brush. And I think I'm just gonna mix Summer and Moonstone, because those are really only the colors that don't make me look crazy. I'm a sucker for a good highlight. As Tati Westbrook would say, glowy and hoey. Gotta boop the nose, get that bridge, just hit all the high points of the face. Honestly, if I could cover my whole life in highlighter, I would. Cute. So I'm just gonna take that same Morphe Y11 brush and kind of brush away that excess bake. That chin looks ridiculous today. We're gonna have to fix that. Oh well. Lately I've been loving this Wander Beauty Unlashed mascara. It's honestly been one of my favorites. After all that, I'm gonna go in with this Olay Mist Calming Spray. This one I really like. It has aloe leaf and chamomile extract, and it just does a really good job of making your skin look more skin-like, because we did apply a lot of powder, we baked, and we just want to make sure it doesn't look super powdery. It may seem like I sprayed a lot, but I actually missed my face half that time. So, and then I've also been loving this Maybelline Master Fix. This one is a really good setting spray and has helped my makeup stay for the longest time. That one has a super aggressive sprayer, so I like to take just a little puff and kind of pat in where we sprayed, just so that those little droplets kind of dissipate, and you just push that setting spray right into the skin. The final step for me is to take this NYX Professional Brow Mascara. This one in particular is in the shade Chocolate, which is not my shade, but I thought I grabbed Taupe, and I didn't. I grabbed Chocolate, and instead of returning it, I just use it anyways. Lately, I've also been digging this teeny tiny guy. It's a sample size of Tarte's Color Splash lipstick, and this is in the color Salt Life. And there you have it, a super glowy, easy makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a great time filming as always. I love you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe. Sammy, who you can't see but is laying back there, would greatly appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.